All right, so just for the recording purposes, I'm going to repeat what I just said. The first part of this presentation will be grounding to present time, followed by objective detachment and self-monitoring, followed by holding space and witnessing. And last but not least, there will be discussion throughout the various applications of the different parts and integration into your routine or your daily life. We're going to be asking you to reflect upon your own experience and to share in various ways. So it's challenge by choice, of course. By no means do you need to feel as if you have to share, but we will be encouraging it. And if you're so inclined to share, please do so as we go through. All right, and here's something else. We aim to offer experience across the mind, body, spirit spectrum, right? We are a spectrum of mind, body, and spirit, and it's our belief and experience that you address one thing and the others are affected. So this work is primarily about symbolic representations of your real life stuff, giving yourself some kind of action to take symbolically that can affect your mind and body and your spirit as well. However, we also know that some of this stuff might be a little bit out there for people. And so if that's you, we encourage you to choose what your level of engagement is based upon your own preference, acceptance level, personal dynamics, etc., beliefs, all of that. So choose what you think is going to work for you and take hold of what works for you and dismiss or suspend the rest for a later visit, depending upon how you see yourself in your space here on the planet. Okay, so first off, let's do a little poll. Deepak. And while this is coming up, I forgot to mention that Kristen and I are going to be taking different parts of the presentation. We'll be doing a lot of hands-off back and forth. So you should see a survey. What is your sense of focus and presence here and now at about 3 p.m.? Oops. All right, looks like we have 17 out of 18. It looks like we have a range of about 3 to 7. Great. Thank you all for participating. I ask you to consider what it feels like to be focused and present and what your personal experience is as we move on. And we're going to do another poll at the end to compare this against how you feel at the end. Sharing the results. And we're going to continue. Okay, first up, right here and right now, I'd like you please to just close your eyes, take a deep breath, and to take note of what your personal sources of distraction are in your space right now. What are they? What's on your mind? What's getting in the way of you being here right now? Accept the first answers that come. You don't really have to look very far. The things that are most prevalent are going to come right away. You're going to know what they are. Take the next minute or so, please, if you can, write them down. We ask you to write them down to help you process them out of them and to separate yourself from them in some way. So write down what's keeping you from being here now. What are the sources of your distraction? It's just so funny, as I was asking that question, my phone started to ring. Okay, Deepak, let's prepare the whiteboard. And as you continue to write down your sources of distraction or the things that are on your mind that are keeping you from being here now, we're going to pull up a whiteboard and ask you to share, if you're comfortable, some of the things that you've written down in an effort to see how we are consistent with each other or different from each other, or what the spread of those things might be.
My apologies, the whiteboard is not showing up at this moment, but let me see what I can do. If we're okay getting back to that.
That's fine.
Okay. Let me see what I can do, but please continue. So yeah, we just got a message in the chat. Thank you very much. It's I think it says that you might have to stop sharing for a moment in order to activate the whiteboard. I think that
Okay. Remember, that's right. I remember our practice yesterday. We did that. Thank you, whoever that was, reminding us. Go ahead, go for it.
Let's try this again. Yes. Oh, but that is weird. It is still not showing up for me. Huh. I literally did it.
I have one.
Sure. If you do have it, please, Michael, go ahead. Thank you very much. Yes.
Okay, there's a whiteboard. If you're comfortable, please share an item or two that you wrote down about what your distractions might have been or are. Email. How cool is it that that whiteboard is getting filled out? It's amazing.
Hi,
I just saw a message from Bob to write on the board. You click on the T and then you can move your cursor to create a box that you can type into.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah, the control panel on the left side of the screen.
The Zoom backdrop that looks too relaxing. Is there such a thing? All right, really cool to see them appearing here. Cat nearby, planning my own workshop for next week. Will my son need me putting groceries away, worrying about my working husband, the Zoom backdrop, the meeting before this one, future workload and stress, visually messy desk, personal life, work emails, thinking about planning my own workshop, family stress is baseline anxiety, dog barking, coworkers entering my office, work to do, weekend plans, requests from colleagues, etc., etc., etc. There's a never-ending stream of distractions. And those distractions take us away from our focus and presence, from our ability to be here now. And so part of this presentation is learning how to process these and to get back to a place of presence and focus here and now as we do our work. All right. Thank you all very much for sharing. How do we close this?
If you go to the top where it says view options, I think stop participant share.
Stop participant share. Where is that?
Yeah, it's actually at the top, and then I think you should be able to reshare the main presentation that you were on earlier.
Ah, gotcha.
Sure. Try that.
I'm at a loss.
I'll try it. There it is.
Oh, there we got it.
There you go.
Great. I'll screen share again. Thank you guys for your patience. Okay, back to the presentation.
Sure.
Thank you all for sharing on the whiteboard. It is amazing how many things we are distracted by and how they can affect us.
Mhm.
Now a little bit about identifying those distractions, those things that keep us from being here now. Part of this process is identifying things that are mine and things that are not mine. And Kristen, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah. And the reason this is important is because this presentation today is about what keeps us from being present and focused at work. And the punchline is we got to get rid of our distractions, but of course we don't want to get rid of what's our own, but we're just so filled with the stuff that's not our own. So the first step before deciding what we're going to get rid of or not is to figure out what we're keeping and what we're going to let go of. And Michael and I have coined that mine and not mine. So when I'll give an example of how I would define mine and not mine. When we went through and we had to jot notes of what was distracting me in that moment, I wrote my dryer because I'm at home and I could hear my dryer in the background. I've got workmen outside. I'm missing my daughter's volleyball game right now, so I'm worried about how she feels about that. I feel guilty for missing her game. And I'm also nervous about looking bad in front of all you guys. So those are the 5 things that are my distractions. So I'm going to go through and figure out what's mine, what's not mine. So the dryer, not mine. That doesn't have anything to do with me. That's something outside of me, not mine. The workmen, not mine. Missing my daughter's volleyball game and worried that she's upset. That's not mine. Those are her feelings that I have like pulled in and I'm feeling for her or imagining it for her. And that's just not mine. I don't need to be doing that. My guilt over not being at her volleyball game, the guilt's mine. That's something that's in me and I have as my own. And then nervous about looking bad. That's also mine. But we don't want to go into too many details here because this mine or not mine thing can get pretty complex, and I've had to go through years of therapy and trainings to, always know the difference. This is like big level Buddha stuff. But I'm nervous about looking bad. That is mine, but is that really mine? Because where did that come from? Maybe that came from a teacher that made me feel nervous when I was in 2nd grade. So maybe it's not mine. But anyway, we're not going to go into all that depth today, but we did just want to show, and the dryer and the person I saw on the board, somebody wrote the noise in the next office. I'm like, that's a perfect example of what's not mine and we can easily let go of.
Right.
So does that seem clear, Michael? Do you want to add anything to the mine?
That's good. There are various levels of mine and not mine, and some require a little bit more depth and digging and self-observation than just the immediate here and now. So we invited here now because it is an important thing to discern as you become more and more aware of yourself, as you begin to do these things that we're about to teach you more and more and practice them. So this idea of mine and not mine is kind of a theme that will be pervasive throughout. And so now we want to share with you a little tool that you can use, a little visual tool that can help you, what I call detach and dismiss.
We actually have a question from the audience.
Oh, yes, please.
Denara, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask the whole mine, not mine thing. I mean, so if you're hearing noise, I'm not creating the noise, but it's my reaction to the noise. So I'm just not sure if it's mine or not mine. If it's like my reaction as opposed to the noise itself. So I'm just trying to wrap myself around that.
And I feel like wrapping yourself around it is the process. It's like there's a constant ongoing process of, wait a minute, what is mine and what isn't mine, which is really the first step of what do I need to hold and what can I let go of, and all those layers. Because you're right, external things can quickly become internal things. And that's the process of that is the discussion that we're naming. It's not necessarily an answer to each one.
So, but maybe it's ultimately choosing.
choosing your reaction.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Cool. So part of this introductory process, and we're going to get into a more robust set of imagery as we go through this, but to introduce this idea of detaching and dismissing that we'll talk about more, I'd like you all to consider a river. Imagine placing your distractions in it, saying goodbye to them, and watching them get swept downstream. And one thing that I like to do is to give life to each of those things that I would write down on that piece of paper in a certain way, give them the gift of life and imagine them as a living entity, if you will, that has power and perhaps can affect you in some way. And consider a river, imagine a river just flowing before you, but right at your feet. And imagine it coming from a very tall mountain with glaciers that have nice, cool, crisp, cleansing waters flowing at your feet from the left to the right. And to help you out, we'll give you an actual river to look at. And so as you observe this river or look at it and then close your eyes, take one of your distractions, wrap it up in your hands, drop it in the river, say goodbye to it, and watch it flow away. And do it again with another one. Say hello to the distraction that you wrote down. Give yourself a look at it with your mind's eye or your imagination, and let it go. And feel the disconnect occur as it flows down the river. This kind of imagery can be helpful in symbolically taking care of things that are getting in your way in your mind. It gives us the opportunity to actually do something with a thought, a feeling, sense of anxiety, whatever it might be, right? It's an opportunity for action, whereas in the physical realm or physical world, we wouldn't necessarily have such a thing. So it gives us something to do, something to imagine, something to do that symbolizes the actual releasing of the thing that is on our minds and keeping us from being here present. And each one that you give away just brings more and more presence. You can ask for your presence to come closer or your focus to become sharper as you throw each thing in the river. So let the river have its way. And go ahead and throw a few things from your list in it. And support it with a nice cleansing breath. Nice and deep. And notice any shifts that you feel. All right, thank you. Okay, so we're going to get into a little bit more depth now. Grounding is the creative act of becoming present and focused in your moment. Grounding is the creative act of becoming present and focused in your moment. And I'm going to give it to Kristen to guide you through a grounding meditation that will include these items that are appearing on the screen.
Grounding is really essential, and any energy medicine class you take, it's all going to come back to grounding. And what I have found is it's really key to being able to be focused and productive. And there's all the distractions that are happening. And one way to let them go is drop them in the river and then come in and ground. So I will guide you through a grounding meditation now. And just before I do it, I'm just going to go through the list real quickly of the steps. And this is a suggested step. Grounding is a very intuitive process that you really can find your own way to it, but this is sort of a guideline that we're offering to start if you're new to grounding. So the first step is to just intend. And what that means is intention is also everything that there's a lot of power in intention. So it's just starting saying, oh, I'm going to intend to ground, and I'm going to intend to feel calm, or I'm going to intend to come into the present moment, whatever your intention is about coming into this moment. And then you get yourself comfortable. I often put my feet flat on the ground or move around a little bit where I feel comfortable. Close my eyes, take a real clean breath, which is really a way that you come into your body and remember your aliveness. And then a great first step is to feel the pull of gravity to the ground. So it's a way to connect to your body, the earth, and a way to feel the grounding effort, because sometimes it can feel really scary, like, oh, I don't know how to ground. All we have to do is feel our body grounding for us, because if you go into your body now and feel it, we're being pulled to the earth, which we don't spend a lot of time noticing that sensation. But when you do, it's helpful because it knows that we don't have to do the work of grounding ourselves. We are being grounded. Then the next step is connecting to the earth. One way I do that is with my feet on the ground, I imagine that I have like these valves on the bottom of my feet, and I imagine the valves opening up. And I really just feel that point of contact where I'm sitting, my feet, anything that's touching the ground. That's where I connect to the earth. And then the next step is inviting earth energy up. So now that I've opened the valves on the bottom of my feet, I almost imagine that my calves are like straws, and I start pulling earth energy up through the straws of my legs up into my body and sort of drinking it up. And you can imagine the earth energy as water or mud or the elements and crystals that you like, and anything that speaks to you. And then the next step is just inviting it with inviting the energy and allowing ease. So, you know, not straining, just sort of letting the earth energy just flow up into your body naturally, almost like how the water's way. Water will find itself in regardless. And then the final step is just claiming your grounded moment. So really being like, okay, I'm grounded and I'm here. Here I am is what we mean by claiming your grounded moment, which really is just arriving and claiming and being present. So yeah, we'll just take a brief moment to go through these now. So if we all close our eyes, intend for us to all do the grounding. We're comfortable, our eyes are closed, we're breathing. We can feel all of the weight of our body is pressing down into the ground. Gravity is assisting us. This is the moment when I like to identify with all the emotional energy in my body and let that drop down to the ground. I find that really soothing. Your body can become a coffee press, and you can, like a French press, and you can just press all of the yuck and the stuff that's not yours down into the ground, dropping all that heavy energy down into the ground. And then opening up your feet and pulling in earth energy through the straws. They're kind of like boba straws. The boba straws of your legs, pulling the earth energy into your body, inviting it to enter into you with ease. And then just claiming, yes, I'm doing this. I am grounding. I am present. I am here. I am here and I'm alive. And that's it. I'm going to hand it to Michael for other ideas and other ways that we can ground.
All right. Yeah. So about this one, for me, I often add the identity or the arms of Mama Earth coming up and holding me, giving me a hug from the earth. And I also sometimes imagine myself sinking down into the earth and becoming part of it as I go through this exercise. And with respect to earth energy, sometimes I'll breathe in, and as I breathe in, create a suction through my feet and through my body and allow earth energy to come up. And with respect to the invite and allow ease, you know, it's also has a lot to do with permission, self-permission to allow oneself to have this experience in spite of whatever stressors are still there. And then the claiming, using the voice, I am grounded, is a really good thing to do. Whenever we use our physical body in support of the symbolic work, it only intensifies it. So one of the things that I've learned recently, or not so recently, but over the past few years in practicing this work, is that not everybody sees as if they're seeing through their eyes when they have their eyes closed, right? People feel, sense, see, know, experience, right? So the word seeing is not necessarily about actually visualizing something in your mind. There are some people who get caught up on, hey, I don't see that way in my mind. Question is, how do you receive your information intuitively? What comes when you consider the earth and grounding? Go with that. Go with what your body senses. It's not necessarily about seeing, if you will. And so when we say the word see, it includes sensing, feeling, knowing, and experiencing, right? All of those things. In addition to symbolic sight, if you have it, and the ability to see actual images in your brain. Know that it's not an intrinsic trait of everybody. Okay, so here's an alternative way to do the same thing. I call it quick grounding. And the idea here is to go through the similar process, get comfortable, close your eyes, take a deep breath or more. And here's the difference. Instead of connecting to earth and using that kind of symbolism, you remember or imagine, if you haven't had this kind of experience in your life, a safe and secure time and place in your life. Close your eyes and go back to that time and space and evoke the feeling state. And then describe it with as few words as possible. And then revising them to the shortest, most accurate possible. And then taking a cleansing breath and saying the words aloud and putting them in your memory to use as a tool to summon those feelings of groundedness when you want them and need them in that moment without going through such an elaborate process. And then again, claiming your grounded moment. So for example, I was working with a client recently who mentioned that his safe and secure place was going to church with his grandmother. And so the words that he came up with were church with grandma. And I said, okay, man, just say them. Church with grandma. How do you feel? Oh my God, I feel like I'm in church with grandma. Describe the feeling, sensation, etc. So I encourage you to do the same. Go ahead and close your eyes. Remember or imagine a safe time and place and all of the associated people, feelings, sensations, location, information, etc. And then describe it in as few words as possible. There might be a whole story associated with it. Turn down the whole story, make it 2 or 3 words. Get it down to as short as possible that allows you to evoke that sensation of being safe and secure in your moment. And when you're ready, take a cleansing breath and say the words and experience the evoked sensation. And enjoy your moment. Again, using your voice as a point is important. You know, you can keep your microphones on, you can turn them off, but say the words that come to you. And if they're longer than 4 or 5 words, hone it down to 2 or 3, or even 1 if you can. All right. So, would anyone like to share? Who's got one? Just turn on your mic and share.
I have one.
Yes.
My word is mather.
Mather.
Yeah.
What's the story behind it?
For a number of years, my family went to Camp Mather, San Francisco's family camp. And laying out on the grass is an image I like to bring to mind when I wish I were taking a vacation.
Nice.
So that's what
Mather.
comes to mind. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else? All right. It's definitely personal, so no need to share if you don't have any, or you're not desiring to. That's fine. The point is, there are a variety of ways to ground your energy and to get into that space, and we've shared with you versions of 2, and there are all kinds of others. Another way that I like to do it too is as I'm walking, I will imagine every footfall shooting a connecting arrow with an anchor on it down into the earth, grounding me every footfall. That way I use walk, the act of walking is actively grounded. And it's surprisingly amazing. Or going out and look at the sun. Or even touching a tree, you know, all of the standard kinds of woo-woo kinds of things that people refer to. They can be very helpful. All right. Any questions about this stuff so far? Okay. So let's move on. How do you feel after having some grounding experience? And how might grounding to present time be useful, in particular in the context of the work that you do? This is an opportunity to share. Rachel, since you're my office mate, what do you think?
That's funny. I was just about to type into the chat. I feel like I'm a very high energy person, as you know, and I feel really like calm and in sort of like a tingly way. I can't really explain it, but it's the same feeling that I get after I'm done with a really long run or after I had a really deep conversation with a friend. So I feel very much at peace in that sense. And what's the second question? How might grounding to present time be useful? Oh, I think when I'm feeling anxious, like before, you know, a big meeting or after I've made a mistake, I think that this could be really useful in those instances.
Right on. Thank you, Rachel. For me, I find it useful when, like Rachel said, when there's a sense of anxiety or dread, or some concern about something or something that something that's on my mind, I can ground my energy and get focused and give myself permission to dismiss that thing that's on my mind and just get present in the moment. So it's usually, I summon it when I'm feeling like I'm off in some way, or my physical movements have shown me that I'm not grounded. Like, for example, I have no hair and I bonk my head like 3 times a week. And whenever I bonk my head, it's like, I am not grounded, right? Or when I lose my keys and I get frustrated looking around for them, not grounded, right? Or you miss a turn on the freeway, you're not paying attention, not grounded, right? You're thinking about something else. Those are also indications of things that can show you that you're not quite present in your moment, thinking about other things and distracted. Perfect invitation with some self-monitoring to do one of these exercises. Ground your moment and get back to the present.
We have a question from the audience.
Yes.
Johnson.
Hi, I'm also Kristen's office mate.
Oh, awesome.
So we have office, this is the office mate.
I was going to call on you, but I didn't want to put you
I
on the
figured
spot.
you would.
Yeah.
I find that I churn a lot in my mind, and that when I
Mhm.
ground, it just slows me down and removes some of the self-inflicted noise.
Yeah.
And
Awesome.
sometimes when I'm rushing around trying to get things done, you know, there's a million work emails, there's this, there's that, you feel yourself rushing, and that builds your sense of anxiety and stress. And so just grounding and being like, yeah, they're there,
Mhm.
you know, now go deal with them. That helps a lot.
Right. Beautiful. Thank you, Jen.
Thank you, Jan.
All right, let's move on. Thank you for that feedback, you guys. Okay, next up is this idea of a meditation sanctuary. And what we mean by when we talk about a meditation sanctuary, it's a place that you'll create in the middle of your head, where you can take your witnessing self, part of you that observes the world around you and even yourself, and place it in a spot that's close to your hypothalamus, your pituitary, and the other glands in your brain that secrete various hormones. And even so far as to look through your own eyes to witness your own world, and to use that place of your meditation sanctuary to be a space from which you can discern what you choose to hook to or let go, right? And it's just a way to separate oneself from the moment of energy that could be distracting or take you on a ride, and give you the opportunity to choose it or not, right? Or discern between what's mine here or what's not mine, and to accept what's mine and to choose to work with it or let it go. And the same is true for things that are not mine. I can make it mine or choose to let it go. And so this meditation sanctuary idea is another meditative process that I'd like to guide you through, and it goes like this. It's the space that enables self-observation. It's just a self-observation tool. It's a way to witness oneself, right, through a process. We ground. So let's re-evoke it. Take a deep breath. Some of that groundedness, that state that we received or got to before, and welcome it back. And invite earth up into your body. Be in your moment. Claim it. I am grounded. And now with your eyes closed, imagine just the center of your head right between the top of your nose and the little knob that's the back of your skull, right smack in the middle between those 2 points. And expand it out into a room in the middle of your head and have a seat. And then illuminate it. And to help you illuminate it, here's a little imagery of a flame, candle being lit. That can provide a little meditative space for you and shed some light on your meditation sanctuary. Ground it. And one way to ground a space, and by the way, grounding isn't just for yourself. You can ground a location, you can ground a scene, you can ground virtual space. And so in this case, imagine your room having 4 corners, floor, and you can connect some grounding cables or vines or whatever imagery comes to you. Ground that space to your earth within your own body grounding field. Ground it within your grounding. And with their permission, you can even help ground other people, right? Closing your eyes, imagining that other person and surrounding them in your own grounding field. We also do that as parents. If you're a parent, you know that the vibe of yourself can affect the children around you and other people. If you radiate a sense of calm, it often spreads. In the wilderness medicine courses that I've taken, there was a teaching that said spread calm, right? Spreading calm in a tough moment works. Spreading stress in a stressful moment also works, right? So these are all examples of grounding and grounding others with permission. So ground your meditation sanctuary. Forgive me for going off topic there a little bit. And then from here, observe, discern, and choose from a place of objective detachment. And by objective detachment, what I mean by that is you are using your witness self, the part of you that bears witness upon you, the part of you that bears witness to others without commentary or judgment. Okay. Another term for this is holding space. And Kristen's going to get into that a little bit later. So let's drop into it. Go ahead and close eyes again. Evoke that grounding space. Imagine that space in the center of your brain or center of your head. Start it with a little sphere. Throw that sphere into something bigger. Make it an elaborate room. You're not limited by the confines of your skull. We just put it there because of proximity to our eyes and the brain. The functioning center, the control centers of your body. Become one of the control centers. Put in a chair that's specifically designed for you and have a seat in it. Open up the ceiling with a skylight or even make it open air so you can see up into the sky. Put up your favorite artwork and the plushiest rug that's comfortable in there. Or make it open space where you can see all around. Again, you're not confined by the limits of your skull. However, if it feels good and safe for you, by all means, make it confined by the limits of your skull. It depends. It's all up to your imagination. Your imagination is the only limitation with all of this stuff. If it can be thought, it can be so. And when you're all ready and set, take a deep breath and relax into your meditation sanctuary. And give yourself permission to discern. And we'll get into discern from what in a moment. For now, it's just about lighting that space up and being present in your moment. Some imagery of being detached and in observance to all that's around you. And with your eyes closed from this place, pay attention to your immediate surroundings and hear the things you haven't been hearing. Perhaps the noises of the city outside, or the sounds of your building, or sounds of the thing in the room that you're in, clock ticking, the refrigerator rumbling, whatever it might be. Great indication of presence is that your immediate surroundings will speak to you. They'll let you know by the sounds of them. And so enjoy your meditation sanctuary. All right. Again, this is the place from which we can observe, discern, and choose from a place of objective detachment. Okay. Oops. All right. Come on back, open your eyes again. And here's a little graphic that I'd like to share that will help you discern. So this multi-sided structure with the person sitting is representation of you and your meditation sanctuary. And from this meditation sanctuary, you can monitor your thoughts. Pay attention to your thoughts as they arise. Thoughts come. They come. No matter how hard we try and be silent and still, thoughts come. With practice, they'll come less. But the idea is here to say, to recognize that thought, whatever this one represents, this stoic figure. Hello, stoic figure. I see you, recognize you, and I release you. Hello, blue moon. Whatever you mean to me, I see you, I recognize you, and I dismiss you. Right? These are the actions that we can take with respect to getting calm and present by allowing our thoughts to go through and choose not to be hooked to them. Right? Hello, sunshine. Right? The rain is coming on Sunday, perhaps. We're going to enjoy you today. Thank you for showing up. Beautiful sun outside my window right now. I see you, I welcome you, and let you go. Oh, cloudy day. Yes, you make me bring me sadness. I see you, recognize my sadness. Okay, I'm going to let it go. Stop what you're doing. This is no good. Forget it. This stuff. This is terrible. Whatever. Yes, I see you, negativity. I recognize you. I'm going to let you go. I'm free of it. I'm happily free of negativity. Oh, not too happy now. Be careful. Don't get distracted. I'm going to let you go. The love of my life. I wish you were here with me. I miss you so much. I'm going to distract. I'm going to let you go so I can be present. Dreaded emails. You're there. I'm going to get to you later. Right now, I'm going to take a deep breath in my meditation sanctuary and come back to you when I'm ready. So that's the idea. You actively participate with the thoughts that come through, watch them come through, observe them, willfully send them away, or even just let them vanish. The idea is to watch and see what happens, or watch and participate in their letting go. And one thing that has been really important for me to learn is this idea of 90 seconds. When a pervasive thought or emotion comes in, if you can take it, recognize it, say hi to it, and let it go and let it have its way, more than likely it's going to be gone in about 90 seconds or less. It's going to go. It's when we get hooked on them and start telling ourselves stories about them that they pervade and continue and grow. So this meditation sanctuary tool, in addition to grounding, is a great way to help monitor and clear one's thoughts that can be hooking and that can take you for a ride. And it's a tool that requires practice, of course. The more you practice it, the easier it becomes and the faster you can become steady state in this idea in your meditation sanctuary. Okay. Any questions about that concept and that experience? All right. So moving right along to now a specific process. This objective detachment process that I'd like to share with you. So this is an actual process that you can use to detach from a person. And when I say detach from a person, I don't mean let them go from your life. I mean release yourself of the energy that you've hooked to in relation to some kind of interaction that you've recently had or are holding on to, the residue of it or the emotional impact of it. And it's a pretty straightforward thing. You basically ground yourself. I'm going to go through, I'm going to share with you the process here. So the first thing you do is offer what's called a spirit-to-spirit greeting. And all of this is coming from a grounded space, right? So we presume that we are grounded first. When in doubt, ground your energy. Summon that safe place or connect to earth or however you do it. Go for a walk all the footfalls, all the things we talked about already. And from a grounded space with the attention to objectively detach, we offer what's called a spirit-to-spirit greeting. And what a spirit-to-spirit greeting is just summoning the image of that person or the energy of that person with whom you're doing this objective detachment. And again, it can be from a person who you've had a challenging instance with, or challenging situation with, or even a pleasurable one. The idea here is to set yourself up so that you are free of the energetic influence of others, so that what you experience, you can know for sure that is yours and not theirs, right? And so to do a great spirit-to-spirit greeting, your personal space is important. And so what I like to do is offer my own personal space by waving my hand out in front of me and drawing a line out in front of me, and imagine it circling all around my body with the arc of my fingers out in front of me. And that line that's drawn in the air, outside of it is not my personal space, and between that and me is my personal space. So outside of your personal space, offer a spirit-to-spirit greeting. That person that comes to mind when you look at yourself and see what you're holding on to related to a previous interaction with whoever it might be. Who comes to mind first? Put them on a stage or a pedestal or under a flowery archway outside of your personal space. And with a deep breath and re-evoking of your grounding, say the words, I gift you back your energy. And to help you do that, you can roll your shoulders back and open up your chest and open up your heart space. I gift you back your energy. In that grounded space. Take a deep breath, exhale, and feel the energy go. Gift you back your energy. Feel it go. See it if you can, go back to them. And watch the colors change. And when your sensations end with respect to the gifting of the energy back, say the words, and I reclaim my own. Incorporate your body, open yourself up in whatever way you can, and receive it back. You can even reach out your hand to that imaginary visioned person or thing and pull it out of them, intending to bring it back to you. Reclaim your own energy. So, spirit-to-spirit greeting from a grounded space. Gift you back your energy, feel it go. Reclaim my own, feel it return. And notice the difference. It might be subtle, it might be really intense. I had one client who, when we did this exercise, she had recently been divorced. She literally threw up when she did this and felt so much lighter. The gifting back of the energy was visceral, and the reclaiming ended up being subtle. So these kinds of exercises can have real physical impact. Like I was saying before, we address the symbolic and the body and the mind are affected. We affect the mind, or we address the mind and the body and the spirit are affected. They all interrelate with each other. So this is a wonderful tool that you can use to get clear of a recent interaction, to prepare yourself for an upcoming interaction, to clear yourself before you go into a meeting. And you can even do it with your phone, your computer, your email, your car, your coworkers, your room. You know, it sets you up to be free and clear of the energy that you've exchanged in those spaces with those people, with those things, so that the next time you go in, you're not adding more. You're starting over. It's a temporary thing, doesn't absolve you of anybody else's energy. It's something you do as a way of maintaining your own personal space and boundaries. Objective detachment. And again, I gift you back your energy and I reclaim my own. Now, to put the icing on the cake with this, when you're done with your exchange of energies and this other person, you can re-evoke the sense of the river. Summon in a spirit guide or an ancestor. My old grandmother comes in. I often put her to task of escorting the subject of my detachment down into the river. And if it was a particularly unsettling interaction where I have some lingering emotion with respect to it, I might ask her to kick their butt into the river or to give them a good hard push, or to gently offer them space in the river and to watch them flow away and say goodbye and thank you and offer gratitude as they go. Humor is always welcome. Humor lightens things. And so feel free to add some humor. And again, this imagery of the river is often very helpful because it is truly symbolic of sending things away and having them cleansed. It's also a good grounding image too. All right. So remember your distraction list or check in with yourself now. And objectively detach from an item or two on that list that stood out or is still with you. And remember, you just bring an image of that item out in front of your personal space. Say to it, I gift you back your energy. Watch it go, feel it go. When it's done, say it again. I reclaim my own. Feel the energy exchange, and then invite that object to or person or whatever it might be. And notice the shift in your feeling state. And take a moment to do that. Okay. So here's a question. What other energy could you objectively detach from while working? How can you implement this while doing your job or are in the workplace? Anything come to mind? Kristen, do you have an example?
I do. I didn't want to just fill up the room though. I notice when I'm emailing, I get a lot of energy that comes up, and two of them, there's two. One of them is fear, like, oh no, this is like a high profile person, and if I don't do this right, I'll gonna so I can get a little paralyzed in my inbox. And the other one is like a weird feeling of like dread, like I don't want to have to go through the steps of doing the thing, so I get like ugh when I open that email. Oh my god, my boss is here, and I'm like going through all these energies that I don't like at work. So those are things I would just say generally my inbox and the energy that comes through the emails, and then the energy of what I assign to them based on my own stuff that I put on that. That's something I can really separate from and say, oh, you don't have to be scared. Just put it over here and go through the motions. Do it. It's helpful for me.
Nice, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there are endless ways you can do this. So use this tool. It's really helpful. And once again, it's useful to set yourself up for a clean interaction with somebody the next time you see them. It frees you of the hooks that you've had or the things that you've held on to in relation to that previous interaction, and sets you up again to be free and clear the next time you interact.
It seems like the mine, not mine concept is very important here. I mean, it becomes evident just from like what Kristen is talking about in terms of, you know, when you read an email, somebody sends you an email, it doesn't necessarily inherently have the energy that you ascribe to it. You know, right. Somebody asking you to do something and you're like, ah, or whatever it might be. It's right. Not inherently like that. So it's like detaching and saying, okay, what is the actual intention? What am I seeing, you know, versus what am I layering on?
Exactly.
That's it, exactly.
Very cool. One thing I would like to add, coming back to the imagery of the river, one way to help yourself discern between what's yours and not yours is this notion of using the river, bringing it, evoking it, knowing that it's cleansing and clearing, and then throwing something in it that you might have some confusion about, right? And if it goes away, it's not yours, right? If it flows down the river freely and freely goes out of your space with the river, you can know for sure that that's somebody else's energy or something else that's causing you confusion. In the classes that we took, the term was OPE, other people's energy, right? So get rid of the OPE, and using the river as a tool to help you discern what's OPE and what's your own is a great tool. And then on the other hand, if it comes back one time, 2 times, 3 times, pretty good bet that it's yours and something to look into, something that you can use some self-discovery with, right? Some held belief that you might have that perhaps isn't serving you. So the river can be used in that kind of a way as well. And again, you can use any imagery that suits you. But something's pretty powerful, it's going to float its way back to you upstream. Pretty sure that's yours. Or my own, right? Okay. Kristen, would you like to add anything to what we were just talking about here?
No,
What's
I
this
feel like it's
objective
pretty
detachment
thorough.
style?
Yeah. Thank you.
No problem. Okay. So a quick review. We've done some grounding. We've done some meditation sanctuary work. We've learned how to use the meditation sanctuary with discerning and being the witness of our own worlds around us. And now we have a tool that we can use in order to actively detach from things that don't serve us or that we would like a break from, so that we're not distracted here at home by the things that say happened at work or whatever it might be. Really powerful, useful tools to bring you in the moment and to enjoy your actual moment without being hooked to your work day or the things that are stressing you out. All right, moving along. Just reiterate those. Next up is this idea of holding space. And Kristen, please.
Thank you. So Michael just reviewed first. We talked about, coming home and grounding first. We taught you a place to hang out for the work that's about to be done. So, you come to your computer, you ground, you come back to your meditation sanctuary. We just explained about a way of filtering out and letting go some of what is not ours. But now, what about the place when we're actually interacting with people? What would be a great way to be in the interaction in a way that serves both yourself and your own space, and also serves the highest good of the other person? And that's how I would describe what we're calling of holding space. Now, this can be with another person, like on a what are those things called that we have to do? Achieve together. Like this could be an achieve together thing, holding space for the person you're doing achieve together with. It can be emails. It can be on Zoom right now. Michael's holding space for me as I talk. So this can be an in-person thing. It can be a virtual thing, and it also can be bigger than that. You can just sort of be holding space for your students, even when you're not actually working with them in any given moment. And we'll go into more specifics of how we do this in the workplace. But for now, I'll just start with explaining the mechanics of what we mean by when we say this and how to do it. So, yeah. So,
let me know when I can go with the graphic.
Okay, this is me on the right, or this is the person we're talking about that is going to be holding space for another. So the symbol on the right is the person who is grounded and in their meditation sanctuary and able to discern what's theirs and not theirs. Ready for the graphic. This is the other person that you're doing the achieve together with, or whatever it might be. And you can see I'm in my bubble of my own space, and the other person is in the bubble of their own space. And we're going to offer a spirit to spirit greeting, which I would just define as remembering that this person is more than all the crap we assign to them, right? It's kind of like, I'm a deep, good person way down deep inside. That person is a good, deep person way down inside. And I'm going to greet them at that level rather than at the level of all the crap that's mine and that I assign to them. Kind of like namaste, when they say at the end of a yoga class, they say, the spirit in me sees the spirit in you, or something. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Some kind of, yeah, it's that. Okay, next graphic, please. And then once you're with the person in person or energetically, the next step, once you assure that you're grounded and in your own space, is just open your heart. And I know that sounds strange in the workplace because we don't usually talk like that, but really it's open your good intentions, open the highest good for all, open the good stuff, open the love and light and not the fear. You know, it's that part when we say open your heart. Okay, next graphic, please.
May I add a couple of things to that?
Oh, please. Yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot to check in.
Oh yeah, no worries. So again, when you add your physical body to any of this, it becomes more impactful. And so ways I guide some of my clients in order to open the heart, you can roll your shoulders back and imagine your heart cracking open, put it forward. And even roll them forward to open what you could call the back part of the heart, or the dark heart, and crack it open even a little bit more, right? To have those things that you've hidden or kept back to become more integrated with the more forward-facing open-heartedness. You can even tap on your chest as you breathe. And often I find when that happens, there's some radiant energy that comes and spreads out through my whole body. That really gives me a sense of an open-hearted feeling. And a lot of times too, when you open your heart like that, you'll have a flood of emotion. And so that's also an indication of that open-heartedness really taking hold. Okay.
That's weird. My a thumbs up emoji just went on its own. Ooh, because this is a real woo-woo presentation. The next step is like what Michael was saying, that intention of sort of opening the heart. And I even sometimes find it helpful to sort of visualize that I'm doing that. And that's what this graphic shows. It's just sort of like sending out well wishes, highest vibration, best being, best energy, whatever it might be, heart energy, open energy, not fear energy, and radiate peace and love and acceptance.
Right. And it's a state of radiation, and it's expansive. I had trouble with the graphic on this. I couldn't quite figure out with Google Drive how to make it a circle and expand everywhere without affecting the rest of the image. So I just focused it on the subject here. But the idea is to radiate outward, period, all around you, up, down, side to side. Yeah. It's just a state of radiant open-heartedness. Okay. And now here's where it gets specific.
Yeah, and then surround and hold space in golden space. So, you know, there are energies, and higher vibration energies, and they do have qualities, you know, and gold is a safe bet. Like gold is just a high vibrational color and vibration. So just kind of once you open your heart and you're holding that space for somebody, imagining it to be golden is very beneficial and high vibration. It's hard to be yucky and fearful when you're holding golden light. Michael, do you want to add anything to that part?
Yeah, definitely. The resist or the opportunity to have errant thoughts can happen too in this while you're holding space. Ideally, you're from a pure-minded space while holding space for other people, but you're still a person and you still might have judgments and commentary. And the idea is to do this without judgment or commentary, self-judgment, judgment of the other, or commentary about what's happening, and to quiet the mind. And so it speaks to this idea of self-monitoring as well, which we're going to get into more. And then you could also add intention for this person too. You know, if you're aware of what their struggle is and what their issues are, or what is on their minds, or etc., you can add some pearlescence to the gold. And I like to see pearlescence as the magical energy of manifestation on the earth. And so adding some pearlescence to give it some action on top of the gold to empower your intentions for this person that are in alignment with what their wishes are and with their permission can be really effective as well. And it's a great place. It's an amazing thing to observe what happens to another person when you are holding space for them. I remember when I was practicing this for the first time, I was with a person who, didn't really have much to say about their day. And I said, so how was your day? And it was like, fine. And then I started to hold space for them and I watched them literally crack open and just share everything that happened. They got more and more excited about sharing their day as the sharing went on. And I could see it immediately happen with respect to the level of holding space that I could provide.
Yeah.
And it was fascinating to see. I encourage you to practice with other people and see what it is that you notice when you actively hold space for someone and then offer some kind of question for them to expound upon.
It's a real gift to do to somebody. I was thinking of when you walk, there are days when I'm biking to work on campus and I'm happy and I don't realize it, but I'm smiling. And all of a sudden I'm like, why is everybody smiling at me? And it's because I'm biking, smiling. And I think we've all had that experience where when we're walking through all happy, people smile and they open up to us. We're essentially sort of putting on a PowerPoint how to invoke that state of getting the best out of somebody when you are holding them in the best light. And then the next graphic, Michael.
Yeah.
Okay. So then this is kind of where it all ties together, because this is the graphic of when you sit there in your meditation sanctuary and you let your thoughts go. But now you're doing this while you're holding space. So Jen and I are sitting in the office and I'm grounded and she's sharing, something about my performance review or whatever. And I'm holding the golden light and I'm in my meditation sanctuary and the thoughts come in where I think, oh, I need to leave now to go get my daughter, and just kind of let that go. And then and you think that you notice your judgments come up about the other person. You notice the judgments coming up about yourself, oh, I don't think she thinks I'm doing a good job. Oh, that's because I'm back here in my head. I can kind of see that as just a thought and not merge with it and believe it. So that's why we're showing this graphic now. It's that place of sort of sitting back, holding space for somebody, and then allowing the same tools of staying grounded, staying in your meditation sanctuary, letting the thoughts come, doing what, now that you know what to do with them, is letting them go. Yeah, Michael. Oh,
Yeah,
and then reaffirm the holding is just, you keep checking in with it. You keep checking in with your grounding. You keep checking in that you're holding space, because what happens is when you get in your own head, you start going and you forget to do the holding of space for somebody else, because you're holding your own space and your own thoughts. You have to, oh, wait, hold on, pull back, come out. Oh, here I am again, present moment with you. And people can feel that, when those of us who are parents know that when you can do this with a child, when you can really be present and hold space for them to be seen and whatever they're doing, the child just like, oh, blossoms. And we're the same way. We just don't think like that anymore necessarily. So you just keep reaffirming. Go ahead.
Kristen, could you add more about active listening?
Yeah, when Michael and I were going through these slides practicing, I've done a lot of work for the Cal Coaching Network and as a coach, and I said, oh, this is active listening. This is very much like active listening. It's not exactly it, but it's cousins. It's when we teach active listening, we say you need to be really present and you need to listen fully and you need to sort of not be judgmental. You just let whatever is happening be there and just ask, questions that are about the person. I guess that's more about questioning than active listening, but it's the same idea. It's like a different way of explaining what it's like to get out of your own way and get out of, be cautious of what you're putting on the other person by your judgments, and just sort of managing your own space, and making space for the other person to have their experience. It's very, very powerful stuff to get out of their way, manage what you're putting onto them, and just stay clean in that. Be like, I'm gonna keep track of what I'm doing here, and I'm gonna hold space for you to just be you in this moment. And in coaching, that it's close to what we call active listening.
One other thing I'd like to add about this holding space thing is that it's an expression of compassion. And more specifically, it's an expression of compassion in that you are, when doing this, seeing the whole person as they are showing up right now and accepting them for all that they are in that moment. It's another way to put it. If you want to go right to it, I accept you for who you are right now, how you show up, however you show up, and it's no skin off my nose. I am here for you, with you, by your side, right? That's what holding space really is. And understanding what their feeling state is without actually being absorbed by it, which is empathy. The merging of an emotional state with another person and having that awareness of what their emotional state is because you are feeling it too, that's what empathy is. That's not a detached state of being. That's an attached state of being. And an attached state of being can be energetically challenging for oneself, right? So this is a detached way to be present with a person who might be struggling or going through whatever it is that they're doing. And you're providing a field of full acceptance, however they are showing up, keeping yourself and your own emotional state intact without the merging. So people often confuse compassion and empathy. They're both great, but they have different places. If you want to absolutely share an experience with somebody, intentionally be empathetic. If you want to provide a healing container for somebody, that's where you're talking about holding space. All right. Kristen, anything about that idea to add? Guess not. You're good. Okay. So we're getting close to the end here now. So we talked a little bit about holding space can fit within the context of the supervisor evaluations, et cetera, with the Achieve Now. And I ask you to just consider, how does holding space fit for you? And what can you hold space for and when? And what comes to mind for me is when I get home from work, I need like 10 to 20 minutes to get chill. And I would like the people with whom I live with, to give me that space so that I can become present. Hold space for me as I go through that cognitive switching process of taking time to shift from one state of being into another. Where I can go through these things. Hold space for me as I do this work for myself so I can be more present with you. That kind of thing.
And
just consider. Oh, go ahead.
One thing we didn't talk about is holding space for ourselves. That's really important.
Please expound.
Yeah. So I think I think a lot in terms of holding space for other people. And, if this person is upset, I'm going to work very hard to come into my meditation sanctuary and surround them with golden light and be present for them. And But I forget to do that for myself. So everyone leaves my office. The emails are coming in. I have these voices that talk in my head that are pretty harsh. I have a pretty strong critical voice. And what about remembering to ground and come back into my meditation sanctuary and hold space for myself? Once I clear some of that stuff out, just sort of holding myself with compassion for how hard I am on myself, or how challenging my life is right now, and I'm trying to go to work on top of it. Just sort of doing that golden light space thing for myself, and then giving myself that same kind of loving energy is brand new. I mean, I figured this out like this year. So I just thought I'd share that with you guys now, because it's really powerful to turn on all this openness to ourselves.
Beautiful. I'd agree. One thing I'd like to add too that I intended to add before was that when you begin to use these tools and to really practice them, in particular the grounding one, you might find that you've been holding in a lot of stuff that's only been covered by a pretty thin lid or a light lid or thin veil. And that when you allow yourself the permission to ground to earth and to release the things that are inside you, you might be overwhelmed with some emotion. It's not uncommon. And so the idea here is to let that stuff ride, let that stuff come out, and experience it and let it flow through, and to see your emotions as temporary, needing to be let out, knowing that the 90-second thing exists. All you have to do is just ride with it hold on and ride with it as much as you can and continue to practice. It's okay to shut it down if you become overwhelmed, but coming back to it is always helpful. Grounding your energy is always a very useful tool. And I've had so many people say to me, I got so emotional when I tried to start doing this, I got scared. Great, you're doing it. Right. That's awesome. Keep trying, right? You can do it incrementally, and the more you do it, the more you practice, the easier it will get. And before you know it, a lot of that stuff that you've been holding in will be gone because you're giving it the freedom to usher itself out with your intentions. Okay. Very close to the end. Quick review. So these skills include grounding to present time. Taught you a couple of ways. The imagery with respect to connecting to earth and running earth energy up into your body, incorporating it with your breath. You can get as elaborate with that as you can. Or summoning a time where you felt safe and secure and evoking that feeling state by traveling back in time and bringing it forward. Or even imagining something that happened that can evoke those sensations. Identify your distractions and self-monitor. These are the things that could distract me. You could detach yourself from them with objective detachments before they become a distraction, or while they are becoming distractions, with the idea to detach yourself and dismiss them. Detach and dismiss. It's not a cold-hearted approach to things. It's a way to clear your energies that you can be most present for yourself. And when you're most present for yourself, you can be of greater service to others. Hold space for yourself and others. We just went through that. That's the single most useful thing that you can do for somebody without speaking or physically helping them, is to provide a safe container for them to be and be seen. When people feel as if they are being seen, they open up and surprise you. Go ahead. What were you saying? What did you say? Kristen, what did you just say?
I think she had to step away.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I was talking about feeling and being seen. Another way to look at holding space is the act of seeing another person for who they are in their moment, right? And accepting them fully without any judgment or commentary. And when people sense that, it's an amazing release that they'll have. And then very much encourage you to practice and apply the skills as they come to you, as you remember in the moment. Yeah, and if you forget, fine, you forgive yourself and move on. Intend to try again. Oh, I forgot to ground today. Okay, I'll do it now, right? No pressure on yourself. You've been introduced and it's going to come out, and there's opportunity to do it. But practice does help. Practice, practice, practice. These are new muscles, new skills, new tools that you can use to help yourself in your daily life. All right. Let's do the exit poll. So same poll as before. How present are you now? Right on. So clearly it's gone up a notch or two. And so I'm going to assume that this experience has been useful and has had the desired effect of bringing you closer to a state of present time and focus. And with that said, I've enjoyed sharing this with you today. Has Kristen returned? Yeah.
Here.
Oh, there you are. Great. Really appreciate your time. Thank you, Deepak. Thank you, Kristen.
Thank you, Michael.
Any
Thank you.
last comments or questions before we go? We're right at 4:30. All right, then.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Mike,
everyone.
for creating this and spearheading this work on campus. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Looking forward to more.
Good.
Definitely some positive comments coming through the chat as well. So,
Great.
yes. And thank you everybody for attending as well. And thank you once again to Michael and Kristen. That was a very wonderful presentation. Very, very moving and relaxing, and yet very, very cerebral, centering our minds and bodies. Thank you.
Good.
All right.
All right.
All right. Go in peace, everyone.
Hey, Kristen, I'm officially woo-woo now.